Good morning. The struggle is real. When you're doing something the very first time, the struggle is real because the first time you do anything, it's going to suck. It really is. Now, the struggle for me is real today because about 2 minutes before going live, 2 minutes ago, I started a bit of a coughing fit and I have a reactive airway and I may just be coughing through the whole thing, or I might just have to cut it real short, or I might just have to talk real fast. I'm not sure which. But for me, the struggle is real. But I want to talk about, maybe you're starting to do some video for the very first time, and the fear is real and the struggle is real. And I want to give you 3 quick tips, quick as I can, to help you just see that you can do this. I can do this. You can do this. Anybody can do this. I've got my finger on the mute button so that I can cough if I have to cough, and there's a good chance that I will, and for that I apologize right on the front end. So let's just get into it. Here's tip number 1: batching. Batch your filming. You're thinking, "Man, Bill, I'm having a hard time just doing the one. I'm having a hard time just doing the one." But batching is a secret sauce to consistency, because if you're going to plan ahead, say there's kind of three ideas into the whole batching thing. And the first is planning ahead. You create a content calendar and you plan out your videos in advance. And if you just try to plan out one and then do one, and then you think, "Oh, I got to do it all again." Well, batch it. Batch your planning. Batch your planning and know exactly what you're going to film, so that when you go somewhere to do some filming, you're not just going to film one, you're going to film several. I have a friend down in Florida, and this is what he does. He plans out 20 videos in advance, and then he goes somewhere and he actually films 20 videos. He edits, he has them all edited later, but he doesn't just go and film one and then go film another one and edit it and film another one and edit it. Imagine the momentum. Once you start doing something, there's a momentum. You get a little bit better and you get a little more comfortable and you get a little more confident. And you're thinking, well, if I do 20, then the 20th one's going to be a whole lot better than the first one. And that's true generally. Now, what I did is I used ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT to give me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, and 10 fears about making regular weekly content for YouTube videos. And the result was 30 topics, 10 frustrations, 10 desires, and 10 fears. And one of them is the one I'm doing today, about the struggle. So the result was 30 topics, and I've got the output for it. Now, apart with doing that, you can optimize your setup. You just set up your filming space once and leave it. Adjust the lighting, camera angles, audio settings, multiple videos to save time and ensure consistency. Now, I'm going to have to make just a quick pause right here because of my reactive airway and my nose. Don't go away. The struggle is real, and I apologize. So you want to optimize your setup so that it's ready. And if you're thinking about going outside and doing several videos outside, pick one spot where you can do several videos and just change the direction you're facing. I can go up my backyard, and if I face west, behind me is a bunch of bushes that makes me look like I'm off into the mountains or off into the forest somewhere. And if I turn the other way, it looks like I'm in my backyard. So 2 different complete settings just by being in the same place and turning my head. And the third thing under here is stay organized. Use a checklist to keep track of all your different things, and that's just helpful. Is just to stay organized. The better organized you are, the better off you're going to be. So batching is the first thing. So batching when you're going to do your videos, batching how you create them. Don't create one at a time. Create 10 at a time, or whatever you think you need to do. The whole thing. Tip number 2 is editing shortcuts, because, well, You're not Steven Spielberg, and neither am I. So when you get to the editing process, you may think, well, I'm not that good at editing. Well, nobody's good at editing the first time. That's why you do it over and over again if you really want to get into doing this. So start by creating some templates and some presets. So create or download templates for your intros, your outros, your lower thirds, all those things. Use presets for color correction, audio settings. You can set presets for all of those things. Another thing is keyboard shortcuts. Now, learn to utilize the keyboard shortcuts in your editing software to speed up your workflow. This can save you hours over the course of multiple videos. I've got this little thing that saves me so much confusion, and it's this. I'm just going to kind of hold it up a little bit, and it's upside down. This is a Stream Deck, and I program it so that I can just press a few buttons, keep my fingers on a couple of things, press a few buttons, and things just work the way they're supposed to work. So, I'm using some shortcuts. Efficient review is another way to do it. Speed up your footage when you're using reviews or when you're reviewing yourself. Speed up the process. You can review yourself at 1.5 or 2 times the speed during the initial review to quickly identify, the better clips or the not so good clips, and you can cut out some necessary content, but then you're saving a whole lot of time by doing it, which is kind of a cool thing. Saving time is a good idea. Now, the third thing, and the third tip, is to repurpose your stuff. Repurpose your stuff. And just repurpose like a pro. Work smarter, not harder. Wow, we've never heard that before. You might have extra clips. I'm going to take some of these clips that I'm actually doing right now, and I'll make shorts out of them. Not for sunning in the backyard. Those are a different kind of shorts. And the last thing you want to see is me in shorts. That's a digression. We don't want to go in there. But you make extra shorts. I use a Opus Clip. I take a long form video. I put it into Opus Clip, and it will pick out and create some shorts. Some shorts or reels or TikToks or whatever you want to do to put on different areas of social media, different spots in social media. But I pull the engaging clips from the main video and I use them on social media platforms. And that's the thing I do. Again, I apologize. So you can also take the audio and repurpose it to make a podcast. I have a friend, that same friend down in Florida, actually, when he does his 20 videos, he also creates 20 podcasts out of them because he's just repurposing the same thing. And he's really good on camera and he's really good at speaking. And so he has some really good quality stuff going on there. So turn your video scripts turn your video scripts into transcripts. You can make them blog posts. You can make them whatever else you want to make them. You can just do that. So you can make podcasts out of them or posts or whatever. You know what I mean? And then there's always the fun, and I really like a lot of these, is behind the scenes. What if I were to do an entire video where I was looking forward and the camera was behind me and you were just seeing how I did it all and me talking about how I did it all. Behind the scenes stuff is fun. At least for me, fun to watch and a lot of times fun to do. It may take a little more planning, but guess what? You can do it. All of this stuff that I've mentioned is easier than you think. It really is. It's easier than you think, and you can do it. And that's kind of the point. Are you going to suck the first time you do it? Absolutely. You are going to suck the first time you do it. That's just how it's going to be. Because you just haven't had the practice. But the more you do it, the better you get. I believe it's Dave Gamberl who says, suck first, suck less, success. And that's something that I've learned and has been deeply ingrained into my mind. But you just got to get started and you just have to do it. Is there frustration to doing this the very first time? Yeah, all kinds of frustration. But the more you work at it, the less frustrating it's going to be, and then you get to be real comfortable. I did mention in an email that my very first time speaking in public was in front of the entire student body in high school, and I had one sentence to say in front of the entire student body, and I read it, and I couldn't even read it right. My hand was shaking. I was so nervous. I couldn't even read it right. The point was completely lost. One sentence. And 5 years later, I was speaking to junior high and senior high kids 2 to 3 times a week. I became a public speaker. I became a pastor. I became a youth pastor. And for 20 some years, I was speaking 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week. And the first time I spoke, it sucked. I wanted to crawl under a rock. And now you can't get me to shut up. Kind of like right now. So I'm going to stop. Remember, it's easier than you can. It's easier. It's easier than you think. It really, really is. So you just have to start, and you just have to plan, do a little bit of planning. A little bit of planning will take away a lot of your frustration. And I've mentioned several ways that you can plan doing it that way. So other than that, have a great day, have a great week, and just start doing something. Just start. People want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say. So go ahead, start saying it on video. Have a great week.